Hi everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to be making this really quick and easy Christmas card. It goes pretty quickly and it looks like it's a little more work than you actually put into it, but I love the simplicity of it. So let's just get started. So we're going to start with our base, which is a piece of the thicker Whisper White, and I do use the thick Whisper White when I'm using it on a card base or a tag, just to give it a little more stability. And this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it at 4 1/4. And then the next piece we're going to use is the Come Together DSP. This is actually a fall DSP. You can see the pumpkins on the back. This one is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to be using this pretty wood grain. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with this kind of embellished circle in the background, and that's going to be embossed, and we're using the Sweetly Swirled stamp set. This is in the annual catalog, and these are really great for just adding a little element to your project, just to give it a little more oomph sometimes. And then you've got these other pieces you can add as well. It's a nice stamp set on its own or in conjunction with another one. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give this a quick swipe with my embossing buddy. And then I'm going to ink up this swirly stamp. It looks smaller here than it actually is, but you'll see that as we go. And I'm going to just ink this up with my Versamark. And then I'm going to do it so the oblong way here is kind of centered up towards the top right. Give that a good press. And then you can't really see it on the wood grain, but we're going to use some copper embossing powder. Let me just get a piece of scrap under here. And you'll see it pick up with the powder. So we're just going to sprinkle the powder over it. There we go. Make sure it's everywhere where we want it to be. And then we're just going to put the rest of the embossing powder right back in. Alrighty, so I'm going to fire up my heat tool here and emboss this. If I can find it, there it is. Alrighty. Okay, so that piece is all set. We're going to put this aside for right now while we work on the tree and our sentiment. So for the tree, I'm going to use a stamp from the stamp set, Perfectly Plaid, and this is in the holiday catalog. We're going to be using the more realistic looking tree, but it also has a plaid tree, and then these two either can be used on their own or together to give it shading. So I'm just going to be using a piece of scrap Whisper White, and this is just the regular Whisper White. And I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink pad. Now my Mossy Meadow is pretty inky, so I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to just lightly stamp off so I don't get my tree too goopy. And then I'm going to give that a press. And then you can see there's some darker shading in other places, but it was really not picking up any of the detailing on the stamp when I went straight to the straight to paper. All right, so then we're going to be using Early Espresso, and we're just going to be giving this tree a little trunk like this. There we go. And then this stamp set comes with a matching, or coordinating, I should say, punch. And this is the Pine Tree Punch. And if you buy the stamp set and the punch together, you can get a 10% discount. So we're just going to line this up and punch it out. So I'll put that over here. And then the next piece we need to do is the Joy to the World. And for that, I'm going to be using the Merry Merlot. And this is from the stamp set Itty Bitty Christmas, which if you watch my videos, you know I've been using this a ton. And we're just going to be using this Joy to the World here. I'm going to ink that up. Let's see. It's got a little bit of embossing powder on it, so I'll put that over here. All right. And then we're going to be using a circle punch, the 1 1/4 inch circle punch, to punch that out. I was using some of the new glitter in the holiday catalog. It's chunky and it got everywhere on me, but it's really pretty. We'll use that on another project on another day, but if you see any of it, it got everywhere on me. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this piece and we're going to put our twine around it. So what I did is I started it in the back, and I wanted to cross here a little bit, but not go in the middle or anything. So I just wanted to cross the end. So I'm just going to put some snail here on the back. And then I'm just going to wrap this around twice. Once, give myself some slack here. And then I'm going to bring it around, and I'm going to cross it more over here. If you don't cross it where you want it, it's no problem. You can just play with it until you get it where, ooh, got my nail, until you get it where you want it to go. All right, so let me take a peek here. That's pretty close to where I want it. Let's just move it a little bit up there. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this to our base, which is right here. Oh, you know what? We're going to put that actually on dimensionals. That's fine that I put some snail on. But with the twine, I want it up a little bit. Otherwise, it gets very bulky. Now I've got snail all over it. Okay, we'll just put some dimensionals on it. I don't want it to dip in the middle. Normally I wouldn't put quite this many on. That one's already coming off. You know what? There we go. It was folded over. But I don't want it to, since it covers the whole card, I don't want it to be bending in the middle. All right. Probably the longest part of this card is taking off these dimensional backings. Oh my goodness. And then they'll be all over the place while I just do kind of fling them. But all right, so we're just going to adhere this to the front of our card, just lining it up. There we go. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our tree. Like so. And I'm just going to tuck that trunk of the tree under just a little bit and put that right in the center there. And then the last step we need is some dimensionals for our Joy to the World. I'm going to put 2 on here just because I'm putting it over the twine. I want to make sure it's anchored pretty well. Normally on something this size I'd only put 1. All right, so then I want to put it over where the twine is crossing. I'm just going to separate that a little more. There we go. Press that down and we are done. So that's all it took to make this card. Like I said, taking off the dimensional backings probably took the most amount of time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're not already working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love a chance to work with you. All of my links will be listed down below. Thank you so much for watching.